Hi guys, today I wanted to talk to you about my new go-to journal I've been using, the Jopp & Tom Dot Grid A5 journal. So I have been using this journal for a couple weeks now, but I did put this nice paper bit that you get when you buy the journal back on, just so you guys can have the full experience of opening it for the first time. We are going to go through all the specs of this journal, but just so you can see on the front, like I said, it is an A5 dot grid journal. I do believe they do line journals and also gold planners as well. And this is a journal with 160 GSM paper, and it has some pre-printed pages and fun stuff like that that we're going to get into. So just for full disclosure, Jopp & Tom did send me this lovely journal for an honest review. So let's get into telling you guys all my thoughts about this journal. So first of all, I want to start on the outside with this gorgeous cover. It says on the website that it is soft touch, and I don't know how to describe it to you guys, but it is just so soft and smooth. You can see that my fingerprints, because my hands are warm, are leaving little marks, but these are only temporary, and I think it's just because of the vegan leather. And like I said, obviously the outside is a vegan leather, which I love because obviously I'm vegetarian. And now obviously my favorite thing about this is the gold foil on the front, which is absolutely gorgeous. I hope it's capturing it on camera. It is the most pretty cover design I've seen in person. They have a bunch of different designs and also colors. I'll put some photos up on the screen, and definitely check out their website down below. I have all the links because there is something for everyone. So I have this navy moon and stars journal, and the elastic is also in that navy, and then on the side it says Jopp & Tom, and on the back it has the same. Now I don't know if you guys have thought about this, but when I got this journal I was personally a bit worried that the gold foil might come off, but I can say I've put this journal to the test. I just came back from 5 days of camping on Vancouver Island, and I brought this journal with me with all my camping gear so I could journal out there, and it has been through a lot and it has survived very well. There are no marks, and the gold is still there, and it has definitely held up better than I thought it would. One thing to consider is you can see there's a tiny little indent on the vegan leather. I'm not sure if it's even picking it up on camera, but it's just from where the elastic sits. This personally doesn't bother me because I love the look of a worn-in journal to show how I've been using it, but if you're sort of a perfectionist, then that might be something that you might want to know before you get it. Let's get on to the paper. So starting off with the colour of the paper, this is a pure white. My past journals have been a cream colour, so I was wondering if I like the pure white, and I can say I definitely do. It's a nice change, and some of my pens show up more vividly on it, but obviously paper colour is just down to personal preference. You also have this really nice thick paper. It is 160 GSM. My past journals I've been using have been 120 GSM. I was wondering how I would enjoy the thicker paper, and I can definitely say I think this is the perfect GSM for me. It's just thick enough that it feels really nice and luxurious, and there is very little to no ghosting or bleeding, which I will get into later, but I just think it's perfect for my style of journaling, and according to their website it is also sustainably sourced, which is great. So something else they include in this journal is a pen test page. You can see these tabs on the outside have been added by myself. As I said, I have been using it, and I'll show you some of the pages I've done with this journal so far so you can see the kind of things you can do with it. But this pen test page is a pre-printed page right at the back of your journal, and as you can see I have been testing pens here. Like I said, I'm used to cream paper, so I wanted to test out some of my colours to see how they show up, and I will say the white paper means the pens are very true to their colour. These are some Crayola Super Tips, some mild liners, and some Tombow dual brush pens. Then also here I have used a Sharpie just for like the ultimate pen test, and here I've used some Crayola Super Tips to go over and over again to see how this paper stands up. So first of all, look at the back of this page. As you can see, there is no ghosting or bleeding with regular pens, and a little bit with the Sharpie, which makes sense. And then also on the back of this page, so you can see it as if you're using it on a normal page. Ignore the cutouts. I always have one cutout page for mistakes in my journal, so this is this page. As you can see, there is ghosting with a Sharpie and a tiny bit of bleed through, and then even here with my Crayola Super Tip where I went over again and again to see how much I could push the paper, there is almost no ghosting and only a tiny bit of bleed through. Now I would never use Sharpies or use pens in this way in my journal, but if you did want to, you physically could. And I haven't tried paints on this paper, but in general for regular use I would say it's very well performing. Now I want to get into all the extras and things that are pre-printed with this journal. So obviously starting off with the pen test page, you guys have already seen this, so it's very easy to have one of these yourself, but it is nice that they include it and encourage it in the journal. And as you can see at the bottom, there are also page numbers. I'm actually quite enjoying having the page numbers. It's helping me keep track of how far I am through the journal. There is an index page at the front, so that is very useful for the page numbers if you do like an index page. So I do very much like this extra pre-printed bit, and if you don't need it, then it doesn't really affect your journaling experience, considering it's just so small and blends in on the bottom. There is also this journal belongs to page, which is lovely. It also has the Jopp & Tom logo down the bottom and their website. I also think it's really lovely that they added this journal started and ended date. I usually write it on the outside of my journal once I'm done, but I think that is quite nice. There is then a key at the front of the journal. I actually really like this being pre-printed, very easy, and again, if you don't need it, then it doesn't affect your actual journaling experience because it's just right at the front. For example, I don't use a color-coded key, so not using this doesn't affect my experience, but if you do use it, that is a great thing to have included. Something that's not technically in the journal but is included is this grid guide, and I've tried to do grid guides before myself in the journal, and I've seen people do their own versions of this. I do have to admit this is the best way I've seen it done. Everything is coloured and really well organised, so it's super easy to understand, and I have been reaching for this a lot. I also love that it's its own piece of paper, so you can pull it out and align it with your page. It's also a high quality card and it folds, so it's very easy to keep safe and in your journal, and I just think it's a really nice extra that they include and is very useful for general bullet journaling. There is also an envelope at the back if you do want to keep any extras in your journal. This is a very good place to keep the grid guide, but also I like to put general scrapbooking stuff in there. And as you've probably seen at the bottom, there are 2 ribbon bookmarks. At first I thought 2 might be too much for me, but I'm actually really enjoying it. I have one on the daily log I'm using and one on my habit tracking page to flip back to every day. And then I'm not sure if you've noticed this because they are small, which I do like because it doesn't interfere with your journaling, but there are center markings on the page. So they have a little cross right at the center of the dot grid and then lines at the center of each horizontal and vertical set of dots. I thought this might interfere with my journaling, but it has enhanced it so much. It has just made journaling and doodling and everything so much easier and makes my page look so much neater because everything is perfectly centered. On my daily logs, which I will show you, and if you've seen any other of my bullet journaling videos, all my daily logs are in this style. I just do the center of the page vertically, so this has made my daily and weekly setups so much easier. And I've also never seen this with a bullet journal before, and I'm very much enjoying it. I don't know how I go back to having a page without the center markings. So I'm quickly going to show you some of the pages I've done before we get into the price and where you can buy this journal. This is my cover page, my theme ideas, and I've done this really fun then and now page, a quote page, and my accomplishments page, and some movies and TV shows I want to watch. So as I said, for full disclosure, this journal was sent to me, but if you guys want to buy it, it is $29.99 Canadian dollars or $19.99 Great British pounds. Yop and Tom is based in the UK, but they also ship to obviously the UK, the USA and Canada, and I'm not sure about other countries, but they are on Canadian Amazon, which is so useful for just getting it to you really quickly. As I said, I will have all the links down below if you guys want to check them out. I do highly recommend this, and I'm thoroughly impressed by this journal. You can also use my code Elsa Mitchell for 10% off if you want to save a little bit of money, and I'd also love to hear what you guys look for when you're looking for a new bullet journal down below. Thank you for Yop and Tom for sending it to me.